Hey everybody, Mark over here at Twanger's Turntable. I hope you're all doing well. Season's greetings, everybody. Merry Christmas. However you observe these holidays. I know I've said that may sound repetitive to some, but for those of you just tuning in, happy holidays. All the best. Jumping on here just to do a quick video. I didn't want to let the holidays pass, the Christmas season pass without doing this video. It was a thread that Mike started over at MGK Boston to spell Santa. So that's my reason for being here today. I just wanted to get on here and more importantly, to show the support, show the love for Mike over at his channel. He's a great guy. I was watching, I frequently watch his videos, but I was just watching one this morning where they're into the festive holidays, making their cheesecake, and Mike and his wife Patty and Colton there in the background representing. And yeah, so Merry Christmas, everybody, like I say. And I want to jump on this. Spell Santa is the thread. If you've not been over to Mike's channel, please go over check him out. Great guy. Great sense of humor. Always putting up some good content. And very knowledgeable, I might add. Got a very eclectic collection, for lack of a better term. It's just a lot of different genres that you will be presented with on his channel. So let's get at it. And without further ado, we'll bear down, shall we say, and get it started. Cheers, everybody. Hope you're enjoying the holiday season, however you decide to do that, whether it's with friends and families or in solitary, whatever floats your boat. It's all good. I guess I'll put on the proper attire here since we're spelling Santa and get her going here. All right, so first up in Santa, we're going to start with, Mike will be very familiar with these guys. I couldn't grow up in Canada without hearing these guys back in the 70s and 80s. And I believe this is their second album, Kenny Shields and the Boys, Street Heart, Under Heaven, Over Hell. Great album. Probably best known, what would they be best known for on here? Probably Hollywood, but it's a really good album. They do a cover here of Here Comes the Night by the old Van Morrison tune when he was with them, his early band. And I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, somebody in the VC will know this, well, all the knowledgeable folks. But I think Lulu also did that, Here Comes the Night, prior to them or around the same time. And I think I'd read somewhere Jimmy Page was a part of those sessions. I don't know if he was a part of the session where they laid down the track Here Comes the Night or not, but I know it was around that time that he was working in the studios, and I thought I'd read that somewhere. I digress. So first up, Street Heart for S. Next, I had to go with these guys, one of my favorite bands, and certainly when this vocalist was still with us, AC/DC, Highway to Hell. Probably my favorite AC/DC album growing up, certainly in the 80s. I think it's been surpassed now by Power Rage. No, I don't think. I mean, it has. Power Rage, for me, when I put it on, it's just, I don't know. The Bon Scott era is the era that really, to me, is the true AC/DC. I don't know. I mean, opinions vary, of course. It's very subjective, I guess, to when one started listening to them. Maybe not. But for me, it certainly is the Bon Scott era. And so I had to go with AC/DC for A, the first A. And that's the reissue. And what I like about those reissues on vinyl is you get these nice inner sleeves with lots of photos of the bands and notes, you know, some commentary about the recording sessions and Highway to Hell and the details. And of course, the sad ending to Bon Scott's time with us here. So that's SA. Next up, N. And N, immediately, when I think of N, these guys come to mind. One of my favorite drummers as a kid, and none other than Daryl Sweet. And so many of you may know Nazareth. And Hair of the Dog, I chose this album for a couple of reasons. Like I say, Daryl Sweet was my favorite drummer as a kid. The album art on this, I used to be fascinated with. I still am. It's just a fantastic album art on here. And just the tracks. I mean, aside from Hair of the Dog, which is a killer track in itself that kicks off the album, but Miss Misery, Love Hurts, and although not big in the ballads, that's a good one. Changing Times, incredible tune. Love that tune. Flip it over to Beggar's Day, Rose in the Heather, Whiskey Drinking Woman, and the awesome track to round it off, to end off the album. Please Don't Judas Me. Oh, just amazing, amazing album and song. And then the old A&M records or other record companies, they used to have these inserts they used to put on there promoting other bands that A&M had signed to, and just love that about a lot of this old stuff. What's that? Oh, you want me to mention some of these artists? Yeah, sure, I can do that. So some samplers on here, some artists that may be represented. Herb Albert and the TJB, Chris de Burgh, the Straubs, Peter Frampton, Chuck Mangione. Easy for me to say. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Louis Fury, Phantom of the Paradise, Ozark Mountain Daredevils, of course, Rick Wakeman. Over here we got Lanny Hall, Niles Lofgren, Henry Gross, Lon and Derek, Hoyt Axton, that one I've never heard of, Humble Pie, of course, Supertramp, Crime of the Century, and Joe Cocker. Yeah, all artists around the time that were with A&M. And yeah, this is 1975, this one, I believe. Yeah, of course it is. And we just lost. I mean, just last year there, Dan McCaffrey. And of course, every other band member aside from Pete Agnew now has passed on. Manny Charlton's gone. Daryl Sweet, of course, quite some time ago. But yeah, Nazareth for N. Next up, speaking of things we see in the vinyl community and other channels contents, I was watching Steve. He does these great 5 year 5 years in the life of an artist and the releases in those 5 years. One of them was Rory Gallagher, fantastic guitar player, and he was talking about one of Rory Gallagher's early bands, or maybe his first band. I'm not sure. I'm not sure the minute details there on Rory Gallagher, but this was one of them, and the band's called Taste. So I was mentioning to Steve that I saw this in a record store around the time I was watching his video, and he mentioned, well, that's probably a good one to find. If you see it in the wild, grab it. So I did go back, and unfortunately it wasn't there. But unbeknownst to me at the time this is a reissue. They did reissue this in, I believe this was 2020, 2019. Oh boy, no longer. 2013, this one was reissued. So, but it's a great album. If you've not heard it, Rory Gallagher's band Taste, it's a really good listen. T. And of course, to round it off, the last letter of Santa, A. What better way to do it? Mike being over in Boston. Him and his Mrs. Patty there, they're big fans of cheesecake. So, with all due respect to Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch and the band Boston, what better way to represent Boston than Aerosmith? And further to that, the reason I chose this one, Rockin' a Hard Place, is a song on here. Yeah, you know it. You love it. Cheesecake. Good tie-in. So yeah, Night in the Ruts. I actually always loved this album. I remember my brother buying this album and spinning it to no end. Absolutely love it. I like all the Aerosmith. They never really lost me until the 80s, and even a lot of that I do enjoy, but not like the 70s stuff. And that insert there of the Aerosmith fan club. I remember that T-shirt and the N and the R crossed out right in the nuts instead of Night in the Ruts. And of course, their catalog leading up to this on the back there as well that you could order. Aerosmith discography. So yeah, that's it. That's how you spell Santa, and that's how you round it off nice and neatly here for Mike over at MGK Boston and their cheesecake factory they got going on. Mike, I think Mike and his channel is just a front for Patty and her cheesecake. But go over and check out Mike's channel. And like I say, season's greetings, everybody. Get this thing off my head now. It's freaking boiling under there. Hope you enjoyed it. And being that it's Christmas Eve, time was running short for me to get that up, so I wanted to make sure I did so. Like I say, more so just to support Mike and be a good VC member here. So again, I sound like a broken record, but I may not be on here again before the Christmas season passes. So happy holidays, everybody. Enjoy this season however you choose to enjoy it. Be kind, be safe. And hopefully we'll see you again soon here at Twanger's Turntable. Take care, everybody. Cheers.